I'm sick. Sick of the poisonous water in my rivers and public reservoirs filled with heavy metals and carcinogens. Sick of the clear-cutting of forests and the burying of streams. Sick of the creation of valley fills, the threatening sludge lakes, the frequency of destructive floods, and the bombing of one of the oldest, most biodiverse mountain ranges on the face of this planet. I am tired. Tired of my land, my people, my culture being destroyed, being sacrificed, used and abused by an outlaw industry and its stockholders to satisfy personal greed, while having the audacity to claim that their plundering will bring a lasting prosperity for the future in this land upon which they prey.
OBEC is supporting Appalachia Rising because our members want to carry the word to our president and our lawmakers that we will do anything possible to stop the obliteration of the communities and the obliteration of the history and the culture of southern West Virginia.
The Obama administration has not delivered on its promises of an open door policy, which we will demand to end the atrocities throughout Appalachia. When we march in masses at our action at Appalachia Rising, this administration has fallen short of following up on its promises of saying we will use the best science available to determine what action will be taken dealing with mountaintop removal mining. Well, the science is in, and it states overwhelmingly that this practice must be stopped now because of the irreversible impacts, but shows no signs of even slowing the devastation down.
Before the coal company brands me as an outsider or anti-coal, let my history speak for itself. My roots in West Virginia originate to the early 1700s before we became a sovereign state. I'm a coal miner's daughter. I'm the granddaughter of a coal miner who died from black lung disease when I was 10 years old. And I'm the proud mother-in-law and the proud aunt of 3 of our younger underground coal miners in the region today.
Good morning. I come here today with a message for our president. I want our president to know that I, myself, all of my friends beneath mountaintop removal demolition sites voted for you. We voted for you because in you we saw hope. And we have, numerous of us have written you letters. I've written you a letter that's been published in a lot of media outlets across the country. I've never received a reply. So my message today is to you, President Obama. For the last 100 plus years, mountain coalfield communities have been used as nothing more than third world resource colonies. Our civil rights have been trampled. Even those that have bowed down to King Coal have never really realized the American dream. Mountain people's blood is on every law that's ever been written to protect coal miners and citizens in coalfield communities, and yet to this day, those laws written on paper have never been enforced.
And this is a spiritual movement. The movement of mountaintop removal, as any social movement that has ever been successful, much like the civil rights movement, has to be a spiritual base, not a religious movement. Not a religious movement, it's not a religion. We draw upon the spirit of all people. And the spirit of the native, the indigenous of Appalachia, throughout this community, is intertwined.
On behalf of the 100,000 members of Public Citizen stretching from Hawaii to New York, we are all standing here with you. At Public Citizen, we understand that economic development and job creation cannot coexist with environmental destruction and the evisceration of communities. At Public Citizen, we understand that there is no such thing as clean coal. At Public Citizen, we understand that this destructive link between extractive industries, whether we're talking about coal, whether we're talking about oil in the Gulf, whether we're talking about hydraulic fracturing, whether we're talking about uranium mining, is taking an enormous and permanently destructive toll on American communities.
Mountaintop removal mining is an environmental tragedy of immense proportions, but it is fundamentally a human rights issue. It's a matter of health, of life and even life and death for people across Appalachia. And adding insult to injury, the federal government and state governments are, by and large, responsible for letting this happen. It's continuing thanks to permits approved by the Federal Environmental Protection Agency and the Army Corps of Engineers and state regulators. So it should really be no surprise to anyone that the people of Appalachia who are under siege and whose rights are being violated every day are coming to Washington to make themselves seen and heard as a part of Appalachia Rising.
Mr. President, we come to your home to demand that you give our home back. Mr. President, we are thirsty for clean water to drink and lasting jobs for a sustainable future in Appalachia. We ask, Mr. President, do not our children and their children's children deserve the same chance as the rest of American generations to experience the guaranteed promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? It is for this we rise and will forever stand. Thank you.
The booze and chocolate cider, lemon extract and old Budweiser horse said it's bitter and the doctor's tonic. The good book said a little good for the stomach.